I'm just a working stiff without much money. Recently, I got transferred to a suburban office for personnel reasons, but my house is still near the city center. So every day, I have to spend around 3 hours commuting. Usually, I can get home by 8 p.m., but if I have to work overtime, it could be as late as 10 p.m. or even later before I make it back. These past few days, I've been following up on a company project, forcing me to work real late before leaving the office. Today was no exception. By the time I stepped out of the company doors, it was almost midnight. I felt pretty exhausted, but mustered my energy to drive home. Maybe because it was so late and the roads were quite deserted, I hardly encountered any other cars along the way. After driving for a while, I pulled over at a spot with vending machines, planning to get out and buy a coffee while getting some fresh air to wake myself up. As I stood by the roadside sipping my coffee and getting some breeze, my mind was filled with worries about work. After a few minutes, I took a deep breath, preparing to continue driving when my ears picked up some strange noises. A soft, rustling sound coming from the street corner. These tiny sounds seemed amplified in the deserted street. Looking into the distance, I spotted a small figure standing under a streetlight further away. It looked like a dog. The dog's head seemed a bit large, and the fur on its head appeared to be a completely different color from its body. Whatever, why should I care? I just wanted to hurry home, take a hot shower, and sleep. I continued driving toward home, albeit very slowly despite the lack of other cars for safety's sake. After passing a few more intersections, I suddenly noticed something in the rearview mirror, a small figure following behind the car. Under the dim streetlight, I realized it was that peculiar dog from before. Must be a stray. If it follows me all the way home, that could be trouble. With that thought, I stepped on the gas to speed up, thinking I could leave it behind. Strangely, though, the dog kept running closely behind the car. Feeling something was off, I floored it. The car was now going 70 km/h, but the dog showed no signs of falling back. In fact, amid the roar of the engine, I could hear its panting grow clearer as it ran. Then, just as I rounded a bend, the car suddenly stalled. As the speed gradually dropped until we came to a stop under a streetlight, that relentless dog pursuing the car closed in from the darkness, its panting growing louder and sharper in my ears. Uneasily eyeing the scene outside, I tried calming myself. It's okay. Just a weird dog, just a dog chasing the car. Why should I be afraid of a dog? How silly. With that thought, my anxiety eased slightly, but when that dark figure stepped into my line of sight and the streetlight, I almost stopped breathing. It was no dog at all. It was some grotesque, grim-faced monster with elongated limbs and no tail. Now it stood before my car window under the light, staring at me with hollow eyes while making an eerie, mocking laughter. I was terrified, letting out an involuntary scream. The creature seemed startled too, and its ghastly face actually fell off, dropping to the ground. Wait, not its face, it was a mask. What stood before me was simply a tailless Pomeranian that had happened to don a creepy mask. I let out a long exhale as the tension left me. Getting out of the car, I saw the bot-bailed palm sniffing at the fallen mask. What an ass, really scared me there, running around with that frightening mask on at night. But looking closer, this palm did seem kind of cute. With that thought, I took out my phone to snap a picture of it. Then, to avoid being followed further, I tossed out some snacks from the car at a distance. As the dog went to eat them, I quickly drove off back home, crashing into bed as soon as I arrived. The next morning, I turned on the TV to catch the morning news like usual when a particular story caught my attention. Last night, there had been a triple homicide, an entire family of 3 brutally murdered. What's interesting is that the family's bot-bailed Pomeranian managed to grab what seems to be the killer's mask and was found by police. While the culprit is still at large, this dog and mask are expected to become crucial evidence for cracking the case. After the news report, an uneasy feeling crept up my spine. A bot-bailed Pomeranian and a mask? Couldn't be that much of a coincidence, could it? I unconsciously opened the photo from last night to examine it more carefully, but as I was about to, I noticed something absolutely chilling in the background that made my blood run cold. There, not too far away at that street corner, was the figure of someone watching me intently from the shadows.